Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Leverton on Everything podcast. My name is Adam, and today I'm going to review Wicked. I watched it last night with my daughter. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's not even done. There's like a second part, which also will be 2 hours and 40 minutes or something. So, one, it's way too long for a movie. I think movies can be long, but they need to earn their length, right? I watched recently The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as well, and that movie was also exactly 2 hours and 40 minutes. And in that movie, there were a lot of interesting directing choices. So the reason this movie is so long is because there's so many dance numbers, and the sets are so elaborate, and it kind of overwhelms the entire story, actually. Which, and the story of Wicked is pretty ridiculous as well. It involves the fact that Oz, the Wizard of Oz, he's a charlatan like in most of these stories, but he also, people need an enemy, so they decide that animals are the enemy for some reason, and that animals talking uh, is a problem. And I think I think that the whole idea of people needing an enemy is an interesting trope, but in this movie, it's not earned at all. Like, basically, the Munchkins have, like, interactions with animals, and animals can talk, and animals are teachers and whatever. And then one day, basically, they're just told by the authorities that animals are bad. Not even bad, like, animals will be arrested and they can't teach anymore. And there's not even like any anti-animal propaganda. So basically, it's like you have a scapegoat for all of your problems, but you're not actually making them a scapegoat. You're just doing the repression part and not the scapegoating part. So that doesn't make any sense. That theme is more developed with the actual character of Effie, who is the Wicked Witch of the West. So she is made more into a scapegoat at the end. So that makes more sense than the animal part. And the you can tell that they spent a lot of money on this movie. Like, the some of the sets are amazing. There's a scene where they're in this library and the books rotate around in a circle around the room, which seems to be practical. There's no particular reason why the books should do that. And the dance numbers are just huge and very elaborate and ornate, and you can tell that they worked really hard on those. And but I think that ultimately the whole experience feels a bit empty and shallow, and it gets too long. It gets long very quickly, and I think that the problem is that it's not highlighting the actual music. So people fell in love with this musical because of the music, right? And you don't get like the most famous song until the very end. But by that time, I had really like checked out. Um, as I said, I watched this with my daughter, and she wanted to watch it together. She's already seen it, and she fell asleep, and I was like, yeah, it's just too long. But the acting is really good. Cynthia, what's her name? Cynthia, the lead. Cynthia Envo. She reprises her role as the Wicked Witch of the West, and Ariana Grande does like an amazing job as Galinda or Galinda. Um, just being this person who she has a good heart, but she's also kind of oblivious. So she kind of believes her own press that she's good, but she does have some moments of self reflection. So I think that that is really, really good. And I like talking animal movies like The Incredible Journey, maybe not so much. Homeward Bound is the better one of those two that I mentioned. But I like talking animal movies really, really a lot, and I think that they're really, really funny. And this is a movie where the plot is about talking animals, but you rarely see any talking animals. Like there's a horse that's kind of funny, but he's like forgotten very quickly. So that was bad. But yeah, like the actual acting is good. The singing, and I think that Ariana Grande probably had the most fun she's ever had in her entire life doing this character. It's just great. It's so fun. Um, but it just gets bogged down by all of like the spectacle of the movie. I think that they were like, oh yeah, we're making Wicked, so it's got to be, a spectacle of a movie. Um, yeah, I think that I would really, really, really tone it down. I mean, obviously, they're not gonna hire some random person with internet opinions to make a movie like that, but I would just tone it down, tone the spectacle, and put the emphasis on the dancing and on the singing, because that's what's supposed to tell the story, right? Are the songs. And yeah, as I said, my daughter and I, we wanted to watch this, and she wanted to watch some kind of musical, and I recommended Chicago, but she chose this one. Chicago's a much better musical. It's the it's the musical for people who don't like musicals. It's great. I need to revisit that one, but yeah. So this one ends on sort of a cliffhanger, and then there's going to be another movie which is releasing in November. Uh, I personally like. I don't know. I think if you're a fan of musicals, you should probably check it out. But if you're not, this is not going to win you over. I think. And even if you're not like there, if you don't hate musicals, but you're kind of indifferent to them, it's also not going to win you over. So I'd give it a 5 out of 10. All right. Thanks. Bye bye.